Yummy! I got the little thing going, reloaded it. She's might have packed a little bit too much wood in there, going a bit slow. May also be the fact that it's a little bit too green, but give it a bit of time and she'll steam like hell and we should be alright. Probably should have whacked some dry stuff in it. Probably should have been plucking out that white thing there, wherever it is, and feeding a bit of that in with it. But if this goes well, like, we should clear most of that boxthorn out by tonight, and then just be left with those other bizarre branches I was saying about from that dead stuff, and throw a few over from the other side of the fence. But at least the boxthorn per se should be burnt out. And whenever I get to it, I'll carry up the stuff that I want to cut up. Just in amongst this again, I was just plucking a few bits of wire out of the ground and having a bit of a look around. And I realised something. I can lift this up. A lot of these small collapsed trees, I can lift them up. So this whole idea of necessarily dragging them out with a tractor, not really. Don't need to. I've also worked out a lot of these ones along here. There's a few small ones like this. We're going to post a post puller lifter. It is a massive levered shitstorm that can do some pretty phenomenal things, including another one he's got that's actually like a wire fence strainer on drugs, using crane chain shorteners, if you know what they are, and crane chain. And you can literally pull boxthorns out of the ground with this thing. I mean, it's that good. We can take care of that with the post hole puller, and if not, with that giant wire strainer shenanigan. Ones like this leaning down, that's a separate one there, not part of the bigger tree. They'll have to go. But a lot of this stuff, you know, even stuff like this, I could cut that into 3 with a chainsaw and literally just walk out with it. Because it's not hardwood, it's only softwood, you know, and it's pretty damn light. Same goes for this one here. This one here might require a bit more slicing, might have to tow it out. The little tiny one you see laying there, that's just about stuff. That's as light as anything because there's barely anything of it. Little tiny Peruvian pepper tree there. This one you can see with a V there and a bit of green. Going to try to keep that. It's not too bad, but it's been like it's been rotted out of the base or something on the other side. So, but it's making a go of it, all the same. And even these here, like I said, this is going to be effort to get these out. I can kick the bloody things, you know. Easy, chuck them over there. A lot of this I'll be able to do by hand on my own, and set a massacre on the crap out of that branch, as you can see pointing out, you know, north of where I'm standing. Well, technically it's west, but I thought I'm going to have to cut that, but all I'll have to do is cut this one here, which is sort of alive up until sort of that join there, and then the rest of it's pretty much dead. Like, there's absolutely nothing that's actually on it that's alive past there. So if I hack that off there, you know, you're only cutting dead part of a live tree anyway. And then the rest of it, once I've moved this out of the way, we should be good to go. There's little bits like this, they look like they're shit, but I mean, so long as they haven't sort of rotted too much, which the ones laying on the ground ain't too good, but if they haven't rotted too much, and if I can actually turn it over with one foot while holding the camera, when it wants to untangle from all the old boxthorn and crap, yeah, it's rotting a little bit. That might be past it, but But there's plenty of little things like that, you know, I cut them up and they're gone in a day or two through the wood stove. So a lot of the stuff, smaller stuff, I can cut up and bloody will use it up as I'm cutting it up before we even get to pulling boxthorn out of here. You know, which means that when we do deal with stuff, a lot of the bulk's going to be already taken out because I took it out by hand, you know. And we can just concentrate on the actual boxthorn as opposed to trying to tow out entire bloody collapsed cypress pine trees that have been dead for probably 20 years or something. It'll be good when we get into all this. And it's old drums and bits of fence and crap, but chances are we'll just probably pull them out and just chuck them on the bonfire as well. I mean, some of them are so intertangled that you wouldn't be able to untangle them realistically without just literally, you know, taking them along with all the boxthorn and just torching it and do what I usually do every time there's a bonfire. I go walk through and see if I can find any bits of wire, and even the boxthorn over the edge of the hill. There was wire that had actually been kicked under there, well, kicked into where they eventually end up growing by sheep, and then they grew over the top of the wire. And even that one you've seen just before, you know, all the bits of sheep metal under it and all that. But, yeah. Anyway, I think if get back into a job and I get enough money for this toilet system upgrade and all that, and when I have more money than that, then I might just start chewing into all this anyway, in the knowledge that I'll sort of get a fence up. And I mean, when you get rid of these big hunks of cypress pine, when the equinox winds come back in the spring, the early spring, it's sort of not like, it's not an issue, because a log laying damn near on the ground or close to the ground isn't really stopping any wind, you know. It's all the actual, this sort of stuff that stops the wind, you know. And so you're not sort of losing any wind cover anyway. And let's face it, there's so much boxthorn that once, you know, the front's got a lot of cypress pine, then as you get into the back, it's like just solid boxthorn. And that's what's blocking the majority of the wind anyway. So anyway, in that, I get to save this whole branch here and move out a lot of this by hand to sort of, when the day does come when we get the tractor over here, we can actually just get right in and get going with it, as opposed to playing with all these other bits that I would have already taken out by hand anyway. Jesus, cat's crazy. Always land on your feet, don't you, puss, eh? What's under there, eh? Biting the bark now, yeah. Come on, Black Kitty. Leave him alone. Tabby Cat's got himself a rat there. Good job. Yes, you may be able to hear, it's just spitting. Slowly. And I have had the line separated to be able to drive through the driveway, and I just clicked it back in. And you hear a whole heap of gurgling through the riser, and bang, fires up. And all the tanks, which had only, the two drums, which had only gone up a couple of inches, all dropped down in the last 3 minutes or so. So she works fine, you know, being disconnected, reconnected, shoots some bubbles out through the riser, you know, pushes some air out through the riser, and bang, just starts flowing straight away. So that's how I wanted it to be. As I said, though, it's not going to be the ultimate option at the end of the day. I think the proper stormwater piping into the big, into 2 IBCs in the pit will be the best way to go. I think we're reasonably clear of leaves. Yeah, we're going pretty well on the green gutter here. Yeah. Anyway, I've got to just pack a few tools in the car and make it an early night. And get up early tomorrow morning with a bit of luck. This is just a little bit of spitting out here. It's not too big a deal when it's spitting, but when you're trying to build stuff, but it's when it really gets raining that it gets ridiculous trying to build stuff. Just with power tools and shit like that, it just becomes a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, just hope we're going to have enough wheelbarrows. I thought I'd have some, and all of mine are shit. 3 wheelbarrows, 2 of which have got tyres filled with expansion foam. And while you can carry stuff, you can't really put any serious weight. You can only sort of like half fill them with firewood. And the old steel wheel one here that's going downhill fast, the wheel's corroding, the saddles, sort of saddle clamps that hold the axle are, you know, the bolts are wearing thin and they're becoming rattly, and I think its axle's going to wear through the frame, and yeah, but anyway, got the main thing anyway, all the timber, and I got all the, I think we're going to have enough, we should do, in regards to the star pickets, and I've got a whole heap that are sort of, you know, bent and odd ones, and ones that are really short, especially some of the ones I found around this house and that were only little, you know, 2.5 foot, 3 foot long things that you can't realistically use for sheep fencing. And they'll be fine, you know, for what they've got to use them for, and yeah, take a few cordless drills, and got the DeWalt, I've got the Makita with 2 batteries, got the Milwaukee, it's only a little 12 volt one, but we might have to drill a bunch of holes through the star pickets for where we've got to put the screws or something like that. I'm not too certain we'll even need it, but I'll take it anyway. And back of the log splitter doubles as a sledgehammer, so she'll be taking that. There you go. Yeah.
Like a standalone freestanding on.
Yeah, I'll get this one for now.
Well, 10 years.
Have you?
Over 10 years.
Guess Rich.
I've never done any mechanical repair on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done a bit of inside work, you know. But,
we hired a motorhome, which is like a Ford Transit van.
Yeah.
We had, for 6 weeks, we had a ball.
Yeah. Oh, they're great.
I can't remember how much it cost, but it probably cost a bit.
You go to a caravan park, all the kids come out and they worry about you coming out.
It's unusual.
Oh, Columbia.